Kerr, what makes someone want to start an action sports pants company in the current era that we're in?
Oh, we're diving straight into
We're diving
it.
straight into it. We're obviously in a crazy time for BMX and action sports, and starting anything at this time to a lot of people would seem crazy. So, what makes someone want to start, of all things, a pants company?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was initially meant to be just pants, but that's where we kind of found our success. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing kind of came from a conversation with my friend Alex Donnachie, who was in the X Games, I think it was 2021, and he was wearing his Under Armour cargo pants. And from then, back in Scotland, we give each other a hard time for pretty much anything anyone does that's slightly different. But he explained that that fabric and that material is just so much better to ride in than our typical jeans and chinos. So just from that little seed of a conversation, that kind of clicked and resonated with me. Where being in BMX now, kind of doing endurance sports, it makes sense. Like, we are doing a sport, we should be wearing breathable, flexible materials. And Alex is the first one that kind of caught wind of that. So we did some samples, like 4 years ago. Minimum order quantities were through the roof. The whole idea just kind of went to the side. And then I guess 2 years ago, I was like, no, I still think there's something there. So with after a couple samples, a few more tests, a few more riders involved, yeah, we launched the thing at X Games 2023
Mm.
with a booth there. So yeah, I mean, it's just been full throttle ever since, and hopefully the feedback's been pretty good. I'm enjoying it. The riders are enjoying it, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody starts a t-shirt company, but it was never a t-shirt company for you. It sounds like it was always just the pants.
It's just the pants. Yeah, it's just we tried t-shirts, we tried hats, but we're a pants company, and I guess we're fulfilling, I guess, a gap in the market. There's the heavies, they're doing a great job. There's the other guys with the stretchy
Mm.
jeans. I've forgotten the name of those guys.
Talking about
Walker,
jaywalkers.
Jay Walkers. They're kind of on something, but yeah, represent. But yeah, we're just trying to kind of do something a bit different, pulling the kind of guys we'd want to work with. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of background making clothes at all?
No, no. Hence why I think the first round, I appreciate everyone that supported us then, but we've come a long way since then. From kind of getting in the first order to seeing what was going wrong and iterating and everything. So yeah, I'm certainly learning in the job. So I appreciate everyone that supported up until now. But yeah, I feel like I kind of caught a grasp of how to make good clothes and how to work
Mm.
with their manufacturer and how to get samples, and actually speaking to the riders themselves. Like, all the signature pieces we've done, from Max's to Garrett's, Jeremy's, like, they've been so involved in the making of the pants. To which point I was kind of stepped back and I was like, you guys can tell me what you want. I can then tell the manufacturer and maybe make suggestions. But it's mostly the signature pants are for and made by the riders, which is pretty sick. Um,
Well,
Rather than me kind of guessing what they want.
right. The rider knows what they need. They know what they don't have and what they wish they had. And with access to someone who's making this thing, just it's not exactly every day that you get to go to like Levi's and be like, hey, this is what I need for BMX. Where someone like Garrett working with you is like, no, this is exactly what I need. And you can make exactly that.
Yeah, so I think, actually, if you give me a second, I've got his jeans that he sent me.
Oh, yeah.
So
Let's.
this was the start of the conversation where I heard a rumor somewhere that he spends like $250 on jeans
Mm.
just because he's like kind of found everyone that we work with has resonated with what we're doing. Oh, here's the puppy feature.
Oh,
Here he is.
geez.
He didn't wait 5 minutes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Well, there it is.
this is
Successful
little Finn. This is the
podcast.
mascot.
What's
Um,
that? What's his name?
Finn, little Finn,
Finn.
after a Scottish rugby player, a guy called Finn Russell.
Oh,
Um,
not Mike from Stranger Things.
Unfortunately not. Sorry, Mike.
That's his name in real life too. I only know that because everything going on with that. Anyways, so you've got some pants from Garrett.
So yeah, so pretty much, I mean, he was kind of on it already with like not, this sounds bad, but it's not a BMX brand he was representing, but he found the fabric material that is stretchy.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent us these over. He says he loves how they feel and how they fit, and we kind of just use that as a sample to then build upon it. So that is funny that his original samples, I mean, he always got rips in the back, but yeah, it's funny that this is where it came from. Like, I mean, we literally are working with athletes, finding out what they like, what they don't like, and basing off of that. So yeah, that's how we're doing it.
It's pretty crazy to hear that someone with zero background in this is jumping in head first with working with the highest level people in the entire industry of BMX and making stuff that people are stoked on, but having that no background. Do you have any kind of like business background or anything?
Yeah, I guess I studied marketing and management over in England, which was more fun than anything. I honestly look back at those 3 years and I don't know how much I learned. We drank a lot, we had a good time, but it was more focused on having a good time. But from then I did a music platform, which I know before this podcast started, we talked about the come up, and it honestly was trying to take the come ups model and apply it to the music space, where there's like a feed of up and coming artists. You can easily scroll down them. It's like almost like a feed of just like, here's your daily dose of new musicians. I still feel like the music industry needs something like that, and the BMX probably actually needs something like that as well. Again, but yeah, that was like my first endeavor, and that was great. I mean, I had a team of 6 software developers. We're working with some pretty big festivals, big YouTube channels, trying to kind of flood the platform with content. But the music industry is tough, man. The music industry is so tough, and I don't think everyone's in it for the right reasons. It's a lot of just gatekeeping and God knows what else. So we didn't quite manage to make that work, and just as that was slowing down, that's where Monticule picked up. So I feel like I learned a lot in like the kind of basics of business, but yeah, certainly getting a pair of pants I've been given to then manufacture them was a whole learning curve.
Yeah.
A fun one, but a really fun one. I love the tangible element of what I'm doing now. I mean, before in the music platform, it was all code. I'm not a coder. Software developers are kind of difficult to work with, and I say that in a nice way possible. But yeah, it was having something tangible is a complete different business, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, well, I feel like when you break things down to like a base level, yeah, the logistics of having a pair of pants made is different than a software platform or having some other product made out of metal or whatever, but the concepts all exist and overlap in a way that you probably had a lot that you took from what you learned to building that music platform and have applied it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I learned was like, you've got to make something the customer wants, and make something unique where it's not kind of tapping into something that someone's already doing. I think if you can kind of nail those two things, product market fit and a bit of uniqueness, that's kind of where your hotspot is. And I think Monticule kind of fits that, where athletic streetwear, like no one's really doing athletic streetwear. Yeah, there's the kind of Lululemons, Fioris doing athletic stuff. There's the streetwear guys, the bands, and maybe the heavies doing that kind of side of things. But we're trying to kind of position ourselves right in the middle, which is risky, and that's where starting a business is risky, because you've got to assume that people want it. But yeah, that was the biggest risk in starting Monticule, is whether people agree or want to get behind this kind of middle ground of, you're not an athletic company, you're not a streetwear company, you're kind of in the middle. And yeah, I mean, actually the skateboard market's kind of picking up on it now. We're speaking to mountain bikers, so fingers crossed it's not just people talking and gassing us up. But yeah, if we can make it work, it should work out pretty well. Hopefully. I'm going to sort this puppy out because he's only 3 months old and he's found a bag.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if you can hear him, but he's a rascal, man. Honestly, I love him. But you want to say anything to the guys?
Look at him.
Nothing. Sorry.
How
I don't know if you
cute.
put him.
No
All right, 2 seconds.
worries. No worries at all. I think everyone's happy about a puppy appearance, no matter how many there are.
Yeah. He was desperate to get a feature. He was biting down there.
That's
so.
what it is. He's like, I know this is it. This is my time.
The Brand Moore podcast.
I was gonna say, I think no matter what the sport is or the genre you're talking about, I feel like people like when they feel heard and they feel like their needs are met. And whether it's skateboarding or mountain biking or parkour, whatever it might be, if you're going to the best people in that world and asking them what they need, they have the best feel and their fingers are on the pulse of everything to be able to work together and make something that if it works for them, it's probably going to work for a lot of other people in that world.
Yeah. And that's where, like, I mean, I could have easily, with that conversation with Alex, overlooked the fact that he was like, Under Armour, this fabric is way better than anything else. And I could have been like, okay, cool. Like, nice one. You're doing something different. But to double down on that, like, I don't know. It was, I could have easily been on an off day or not been listening or not kind of taking the initiative. But it was, huge shout out to Alex for saying that, because that was the spark. And with everyone else, like, just look out for that spark. If you want to start a company, like, listen to people, see there's something different, see there's an insight, and then jump on it. Like, just go full head first. And that's where I am. That's the start of a company.
Yeah. So to start a company, you need a name. Where's the name come from?
So I guess the crossover is from my music platform. My favorite band that we found was a band called Monticule.
Ah.
They're actually an Edinburgh-based artist. I think they've only got one song left on Spotify. They had 3. And I went to their concert in like 2019. I think they like kind of have given up or whatever in like 2022, let's say. So they got one song, and I'd highly recommend it. It's called Colors on Spotify, and I just always thought the name was cool. The band was sick. So it's a slight ode to them.
Nice.
And it's from Edinburgh. They're from Edinburgh, which is where I'm from.
I was gonna ask a little bit of that because obviously you have an accent, and I was gonna ask where is that in the world?
Edinburgh is Scotland, so in the United Kingdom, that kind of island. And then Edinburgh is the capital, just like 50 miles east of Glasgow, and that's the home of like Unit 23, where there's like massive jams, and BSD is located over there. So being raised there, from being such a small country, we've had a huge representation in BMX, thankfully, because of, I guess, the indoor skate parks done really well, and BSD being originated over there with Chris Kyle, Danny McCaskill, Alex Donnachie. We produced tons of good riders. Me, not in that category, unfortunately.
Whatever.
But hey, I tried.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned something before we started recording about riding for 17 years, I think it was.
Yeah. I would say off and on. I mean, that university days, I couldn't keep up drinking 5 times a week and still jump on the bike. But
oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, I'd have a friend called Jameson Carn, and he'd always call me up and be like, "You want to ride today?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, come round." A bit hungover. And as he comes around, we crack open a beer, and there's no session to be had at all. So it was just that time of my life. But yeah, I mean, I've gone to mountain biking, I would say, when I was like 12. From there, I wanted to learn 360, so I got myself a BMX. I got myself a Eastern Ace of Spades, which is a 21-inch top tube, which is, as you're like 13, probably the worst thing to learn. I might as well have used the mountain bike. But yeah, the worst thing to learn 360s. And then just at that point, a local skate park opened called Transgression in Edinburgh, designed by Dave Sowerby, who's the filmer at BSD. And yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it. It was like maybe 20 minutes drive from my home. And then, that really kickstarted my kind of BMX career. And I would say the kind of second session I had at a skate park, I bumped into Alex.
Wow.
Which was like, I mean, I from the mountain bike days, I knew kind of good from bad, but like, I was like, oh my God, man, Alex like the same size as me, 13-year-old kid, boosting like 6, 7, 8 feet over this box jump. And I was like, this is just insane. So from then, I just didn't really look back, didn't really mountain bike as much. And yeah, I mean, I still dabble in the BMX now, but yeah, it's probably 17 years of just loving it.
Man, how crazy. Get to meet
Yeah.
Alex Donnachie and you're the same age, get to become friends before he is like the Alex Donnachie that everybody knows today.
Yeah, I don't think he was sponsored. I think he was on a local BMX shop. I don't think he was on Mutiny just then. But that's a quiz question. I mean, who was Alex on before BSD? And he was
Whoa,
on Mutiny for like, I don't know, like 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
I didn't know
And
that.
then, yeah. So he had a few trips, and yeah, watching his career progress has just been like insane. I mean, a privilege to watch someone just at the top of the game start from. He always had talent. Like we played darts, he was insane at darts. We went bowling, like, but to have someone in BMX that's just that naturally talented, he was always going to succeed. He's such a good guy.
It feels like it's oftentimes those guys are good at everything they do.
Yeah, yeah. And it shows. I mean, he's so good. He's a trails rider back then. He can do everything. The kid can do everything. He's so good.
Yeah, wow. Imagine Alex Donnachie 2026 trails edit.
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
be so
You
sick.
probably could. You'd probably have big turn downs, big look backs. You'll have it.
I'm in. Monticule Alex Donnachie 2026 trails edit. Speak it into existence. but
Yeah.
but another thing I wanted to talk to you about was you've already gotten such huge connections in the BMX world. How did you just out the gate start with these huge connections? Obviously, there's the friendship with Alex that makes that very easy, but working with someone like Garrett and Jeremy Malott straight away, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, each connection kind of had a different path. Dan was probably the first guy to jump on Monticule, Dan Kruk. Alex was over, and I think we just hit him up because I'm based in Venice. Dan was in Long Beach, and we're like, hey, do you want to like shoot a promo video? And then from then, we're sampling a product. I think they're these like kind of baggier cargo pants, pretty cool fabric. And then Dan was like, hey, how about we make these the Krukies? So straight away we had Dan on. From there, Alex is back in Scotland. He wanted a few Scottish guys on, so we got Foley and Guy Scroggy. Those guys were like the first 6, and then Alex is obviously on. And then who else? Dan Kruk, obviously. Alex. I think that's the original 6, and Max Miller, which we got Max Miller a freaking fantastic time.
Yeah.
He had such a good year last year. And I think Max, I just reached out to him. I must have just DM'd him. I think maybe me and Alex were speaking about the team and the US presence, and he was like the top guy on our radar. So yeah, those are the original guys. From there, we worked with Jeremy Malott. Probably just DM. The power of DMs. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe with like the initial team that might have shown we had a bit of like substance, but Jeremy Malott was pretty cool. We worked on a signature pair of pants with him last year. They just announced. I was just on the phone with him before this, speaking about the announcement, which is pretty cool. Not great when he's got a broken wrist, but I'm sure he'll do something. And then with Garrett, I actually worked with him on an OnlyFans deal. So that was the kind of sneaky connection. But while I was doing that, I was kind of getting him up to date with Monticule and what we're doing over there. And he resonated with his genes and the fact that he found something that he really liked and wasn't really being facilitated in the market. So we're like, screw it. If you want to send us over a pair, we'll get into the manufacturer, and then one thing led to another. So Garrett was more of like a kind of, I don't know, business connection into friendship now. I mean, he's such a good guy. What he's doing in the BMX space he's the best, but he posts on TikTok just because he knows that the younger generation's there. Like he's doing everything he can to boost the industry. So the fact we're working with him is next level.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes back to that similar concept of, giving people what they need. And it's amazing how open it actually is, where if you are legit and you have something that you could work with someone on in the BMX world, how accessible people can be.
Yeah. And just doing something different. I mean, I don't know if Garrett's ever been proposed, hey, do you want a pair of signature pants?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm the only crazy one, or crazy enough to actually do it. I don't know, or stupid or clever. I don't know. We'll find out sooner or later.
Is it crazy or stupid if it works?
Yeah.
It seems like people
but
are pumped.
They're good. I mean, I really believe in them. I believe in the products more than ever. So fingers crossed. If not, I'll be wearing Garrett signature jeans for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you have
And I
enough of
told
them.
him that. I was like, look, if we don't sell enough, at least we've got jeans forever.
That is too funny. Yeah, what makes some of what you're making different than what is out there? I guess there's really not much out there in the actual BMX world.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly the fabrics, I would say. Like, we really dial in what fabrics we use. So with Garrett's, we've kind of quoted these as the M110 denim.
Yeah.
Which honestly is us just saying it's denim, but it's not. It's slightly lighter, it's slightly flexible. So we kind of use that for the Max Miller jeans and the Ghost jeans that we used. So that's us just saying we've dialed in our denim, and we're going to now be using the M110 denim. The other one is the Duraflex technology for like the ones we use for Dan Kruk's and the cargos. And those are just, through iterations, trying to find that perfect blend, like durability and flexibility. And then that's then gone into the version 3 cargo pants and the kind of black and white cargo pants, which you think I've set this up. I've got all the products here, but these are actually mine. So they're kind of almost like, I've heard people describe them almost like snowboard pants.
Mm-hmm.
Just with that fabric. They're obviously way more lightweight. But yeah, I mean, these feel amazing. So yeah, to make it different, it's mostly the fabric, honestly. Not as heavy, not as like thick, not stretchy.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of not stretchy? Stiff.
Yeah, stiff, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's our main differentiator, and we're just going to keep on pushing that. Not trying to like overcomplicate it, just that's what makes us different.
It has to be crazy to go to these manufacturers of clothing just for what's probably available in terms of options.
That's probably my biggest downfall when I started. I didn't realize how many options and how flexible they were. With like what they can make. They can make just about anything.
Yeah.
And if they say no initially, you kind of press them and say, are you sure? And then they're like, okay, cool, we'll make it happen. Even for these jeans, they're like, YKK zips were something I was always raised with, and people bragged about it, being like, oh, our jeans got YKK. As a consumer, I don't think you really care. I appreciate that. But as a manufacturer, now you're like, everyone else got YKK, I want YKK.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, they're like, oh, we can't do that. And then somehow when they came, they did it. So stuff like that, like just ensuring they can just have the top quality and just ensure that the manufacturer is pushing for quality. And that's coming from us saying like, no, you've got to make it the best. You've got to make sure the buttons are the strongest, the zips are the best. It's kind of just us relaying what we want and what the writers want. It kind of is just a conversation of me echoing what everyone else wants.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just can't even imagine in terms of colors and fabric options. Like, you're probably lucky in that you started with a somewhat of a starting point of Alex saying the material on these pants and being able to be like, well, I want something like this. But I can't even imagine if you didn't know exactly what you wanted and you went to a clothing manufacturer and was like, I want to make pants. Oh, yeah? Pick from our 100,000 options.
Yeah. No, they do need a lot of steer. Like, I mean, the first sample we have of these, we went for like a black and white camo, which I think they're cool. They're kind of subtle. The first iteration is just here. And like, again, like it's just like a miscommunication. The most simple miscommunication can kind of make them look like pajamas.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Now that you mention it, I see it.
So that's like, we wanted this.
Yeah.
But what we got by just like, I think the file being, my brightness probably on my computer was too high or too low. So they sent them like super bright and like almost like prioritizing the white. So thankfully, you just do samples. You just do samples. You do pre-production samples. The funny one with these ones is we tried to create a button at the bottom. So like when people ride, there's like it kind of like tapers in.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I kind of say I'm like the Elon Musk of pants, man. I'm trying to innovate over here.
That's funny. I have an idea that I still have never seen anyone do, and I'll tell you when we stop recording.
Okay.
But I was actually going to ask you too about the process of mass producing a piece of clothing. Like, what does that look like in terms of you going from idea on a screen or paper to what kinds of things do you have to go through to even get to something that is like a box full of pants?
Yeah, so the first thing would be a sample.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot if we have something to base it off of. So we'll send the manufacturer something. And then they can honestly, that's the best place to start. Like Garrett sending those jeans was like amazing because they can replicate or like base their manufacturing off something pretty well. So that's always a fantastic start if we have something to base it off, like a physical product. Failing that, you've just got to do a sample with maybe fabrics that they've sent over, and you can have a feel of the fabrics. So that's like the kind of pre-production sample. Then once you get that in, similar to this, I think this was the pre-production sample. You're like, holy shit, we really screwed up on the pattern here. And you go to a pre-production sample. Wait, no, you do. Was it pre-production, a production sample, and then you went to production. But even still, like sometimes from that second sample, you're like, fingers crossed, like we want to change it. We've already done 2 samples. Let's go for it. And you're pulling out like all these pants. You're like, let's hope they dialed it in, which they typically do. But yeah. When that big box arrives and you open up the first pair, you're like, holy shit. You got to hope that they've done the good job.
Yeah, I guess I was making it way more complicated in my head because that sounds relatively simple in that you're trying, and it just makes sense. You're trying to get as close as you possibly can, as quickly as you can.
Yeah, but this process is slow. Like this, I think for a pre-production is like 30 working days, and then the other sample before production is like another 30 days, and then production's like 50 days. So I was looking back, and the first Garrett Reynolds samples we got in was in June. Actually, I got them sent over to the Milwaukee competition because I thought Garrett was going to be riding in that. So I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if he's riding in his first sample of jeans. And that was in May or June. So you can just show with like even getting the product to the riders, because they're a big part of the decision-making process. Each time you want to make sure, and they've got other things in their minds. So that might take a couple of weeks for them to be like, yeah, I've ridden them a couple of times, like don't like this feeling, or so it's kind of a slow process, but hopefully we've not got to the point where we've got a product we're just dialed in and we can just copy and paste. But that's kind of where we want to get to. So like with Garrett's jeans, we're already talking about different colors. Then hopefully he still likes exactly that model to say, right, same color but green, or same color than gray. And I would love to get to that point.
Are you trying to pay attention to the larger fashion industry at all with any of this, or is it really just like what the riders want and that's what happens?
A little bit. Like our main kind of competitor, I'd say, is the Vans and the Dickies. Probably those 2 guys are the guys that we're looking at the most, just with like the price point and like what they're putting out there. But honestly, we're kind of in our own lane, so we're not too worried. Focusing on the BMX industry, what is being comparative is mostly pricing, I'd say, at this point, because our products are so different that I'm not really worried about what other people are doing, but just making sure we're not overcharging and actually coming in hopefully a little bit cheaper than most of the other guys. So I'd say that's where I'm kind of looking sideways more is the price.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just thinking about it from a perspective of like how difficult it has to be in the actual fashion world with slow timelines like that, where you're trying to I mean, literally predict what trends and what things are going to come up in the next 6 months by the time you get something in.
Yeah, I've heard one of my friends works at Skechers,
Mm.
and they plan like 6 seasons ahead. Like their plan.
Whoa.
I mean, I have no idea how they can predict what people want in 6 seasons. What's that like? Yeah, a year and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are not on that time scale.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about. It's just, you almost can't be.
No, 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 no. So yeah, more power to them, but I think we're not on that level just yet.
Well, luckily, you don't have to be, because there's not 8 other pants companies in BMX that you're all trying to stay on the cutting edge of what people want.
Yeah, and even still, like our like production time from like the idea is 6 months. Like if we want to collaboration tomorrow, I'd be like, right, we'll have them in July. Like
Yeah.
big companies work so slowly. They probably got so much hierarchy and decision makers and people trying to get their nose in there. Like I think we're keeping it small. We're keeping it pretty streamlined. I would hate to actually be at that level where it takes 6 seasons to have something come to life. Like I couldn't imagine that. That would be us releasing Garrett's jeans next year from the first idea. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems insane to me.
No kidding. I mean, you guys are also being, you could say, innovative, but also proactive in the other things outside of just clothes that you've done. You mentioned the event in Milwaukee. That was, I mean, the first of its kind, is for sure on a large scale, with people who were at the top in BMX. And I know there was definitely some scheduling like struggles, because there was a couple other things that same weekend that probably impacted, but from what I saw, it looked like it was awesome. And yeah, I guess if we could just talk a little bit about that event, because it's something that no one else had done yet.
Yeah, I mean, the premise of that was kind of taking the success of Game of Bikes that we've seen through Dennis and the last, since I don't know, all the videos on YouTube of Game of Bikes do freaking well because it's engaging. Like it's so easy to follow. It's one rider be one rider. It's match tricks. So I kind of want to take that concept and bring it to a real live competition, which then kind of created this 1v1 knockout style head-to-head format, which was the fact that we're trialing that with the Johnny Rakeys and the Chad Curleys, and we were kind of like just winging it as we went. Yeah, it worked well, and I think the riders like what we're doing. We're getting away from the 45-second runs, which we've been watching for 30 years. I don't know, since X Games started. I bet you they probably started with 45-second runs. Yeah, I think it was about time we mixed things up, and to have Monticule as like the engine for that, it just made sense. Like we kind of made it a Monticule event. Thankfully, Red Bull got involved. They sponsored us. And then yeah, we had the Four Seasons skate park, and those guys were awesome, helping us make that happen. So yeah, we're hoping to do another one, but it's just honestly sponsors. It's difficult to get the money in the door. I was saying to Fudger actually, I was like, people love the event when it happens, and they think, oh my god, that was so much work. I was like, no, all the work's with the sponsorships. Like once the money comes in the door, everything kind of falls into place. So we're hopefully got a few big names, kind of people outside of BMX, which is kind of again like my kind of thesis of BMX right now, is try and get money externally. That's why I was kind of spearheading the OnlyFans stuff, because as much it is weird, and it's probably turned a few heads. It's getting riders paid way more money than they would within BMX. So if we can get it outside, yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing it. So yeah, fingers crossed we get another TKO soon, because that'd be sick.
Do you think you'd go somewhere else with it and just keep it moving around and different?
Oh yeah. The next one's looking like Lake Havasu, in Arizona. They've got like a pre-made X Games park there that no one's really tapped into. So Jeremy Mallott's out there. He lives there. I went like last year, and I was like, this park is so nice. And SLS did it in 2022. They had like all the top guys, Nigel Houston, and it looked amazing. And I was like, yeah, rather than building our own skate park, there's a pre-made one just there. So hoping to have over there, and spoken to the insurance company, that's a ball ache. Spoken to the council, they're on board with it. So just need that money.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing in all of BMX right now is money and making things happen.
Yeah. And it's funny, I thought Monster was going to kind of jump on, but it looks like they're doing something in San Diego on the 17th of January. If you saw that, they're doing like a alleged cash up.
Oh, I didn't
But
even
it's
see it.
yeah, Fudger announced it on the podcast in the December podcast, but yeah, they that's obviously why they weren't responding to me.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'd have to do some looking into that. But I don't know. I think a lot of people are craving something different. And if you can create that, you're also inherently creating the value that some people are looking for that they can align themselves with through sponsorship and things. It's just making that happen is tough.
Yeah, I will see like X Games. I think they just announced a few dates.
Yeah, they did.
They're trying that whole team element where like there's going to be like a sponsor that sponsors a team.
Mm.
I have no idea how they're going to pull that off. So like I feel like we're probably just in the sidelines, say like if X Games isn't going to work, like we are here, like we're ready. Like
Yeah.
I will be doing it regardless, but like I just with that teams thing, like I think Monster have already committed a team, but like I don't know how the writers don't know how it's going to work. I don't think they know how it's going to work. So that'll be really interesting to see how that unfolds.
The way that it makes the most sense in my head, and you're from the UK, so you probably halfway pay attention to soccer, football. Like the way that seems to be is that it's like the clubs in there where the clubs are owned or sponsored by its private entity, and then the riders come in and out that way. I think they're just trying to give some kind of official structure to action sports that can help people like move up and level themselves through it and give a real path.
That would be perfect. In theory, that seems perfect, but
we'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, everybody got so mad about it because it seems people's first reactions to a lot of things is just anger before they really look into it. But either way, we don't have to get into all that.
Yeah, and they're trying something new, and I think they appreciate the need to try something new, so good on them.
Exactly. So you're in California, and when did you come over here?
4 years ago, just over 4 years ago.
Was it for anything, for BMX or anything?
Yeah, I guess it was the music platform. I was still doing that, and a few of our big clients were over here. And yeah, I mean, met my fiance, love it in Venice. I'm in Venice Beach at the moment, and it's just where I think I need to be to make Monticule work. Like it's San Diego is a stone throw away. Everyone kind of comes here. Everything's happening here. So yeah, I see myself here for the foreseeable future. I mean, it's tough not to like this weather, and I don't know. Comparing it to Scotland, it's just is so much better.
Yeah.
At this age, I don't know. I don't want to shit on Scotland. Scotland's such a cool place. Like I being raised in Scotland, I wouldn't change it for the world, but for my time of life right now, I think it's a pretty sweet place to live.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with the weather out there.
Yeah, I know it's good. Because where are you based again?
I'm in Ohio, yeah.
A little cold right now.
Yeah, we're having a heat wave, a big 40 degrees.
And the t-shirt.
Yeah, well, it's compared to what it's been, is actually a heat wave.
Yeah, you're in a t-shirt. I'm actually in the hoodie, so that's role reversal.
Yeah, well, there you go. But
yeah.
Sorry. So we're talking about Monticule, we're talking about events, and you've got all these big name riders and everything, and the TKO and whatnot, and you're in the heart of, I'd say, the BMX industry right now, at least split between Southern California and like Austin. Do you have any other thoughts in mind for ideas for stuff out there and just doing more than even what you are now?
For me personally, I'm kind of maxed out in my capacity. Like I think TKO is a huge focus of mine.
Mm.
Monticule, working with the athletes, just generally kind of the operations of that. I'd love to do a full length video, but that's whether the writers have the capacity. I mean, everyone's kind of got their own schedule. So I'd like to do team trips, but every time I kind of propose that, everyone's busy or injured, or so I need to be on top of that more, because I think what Grant Castelluzzo did with lead by example is exactly what we needed, giving us all a kick up the ass to say we should be making more full length video parts as an industry. I think as a kid, I was lucky enough to be in Nearly BMX. Little shout out to Nearly BMX.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got us out every weekend. Like as a kid, and you'd have the notes on your phone of all the tricks you've done and how your part's kind of progressing. Like the Instagram is great, get your clips out there, but I think that's honestly what BMX and the kids kind of need to be focusing on is get out there and make a crew video part, a full length.
Mm.
So that's kind of something that I want to kind of jump on the back of from what Grant's kind of showing us what we need to do. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tapped out on other ideas. I think a competition is good and needed. I think the clothing element, whether people need new pants, I don't know, but I feel like it helps to ride. I feel like it is a good thing to be doing, and it's kind of giving me the engine of whatever I can do, whether that's making video parts, doing competitions, putting on jams. We did our first Instagram slam at the back end of last year. So it's like Monticule to me is as much a kind of focal point of everything else I can do in BMX, and then having everything gravitate back towards Monticule, which is the focal point, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one as a wider industry. I know it's like a kind of hot topic of what we need to be doing more of and what we need to focus more on, but I can't help but to think my kind of quick answer is video parts. Like, yeah,
I think
that helped me so much.
I think for a pants company in BMX, totally makes sense. For like bike companies and parts companies and stuff, it makes sense to an extent, but video parts aren't like what, like for bike companies, video parts aren't exactly getting new people in to buy those bikes and build new bikes, but they're promoting to the people who currently ride that need to buy parts and whatnot. But for you, I think it makes all the sense in the world, because you're kind of one of the only pants companies in all of BMX. So if you're making a full length, everyone who rides can watch it, and the people who are in it, and then potentially have someone who might buy your stuff from that, which makes perfect sense.
And I think we got a pretty good team. I think we'd make a pretty good video.
Pretty good, he says. Yeah, we've got Garrett and Dan Kruk and all the people you have, but I think you'd make a crazy video.
Yeah. So that's probably, that's actually having this conversation made me realize it's put out there in the world. That's something I need to be focusing on this year.
I think,
but then my point before is probably more for the younger generation, like probably less so like the industry as such, like the big BMX companies, but more just like people. I say the industry probably is like everyone from a kid getting their first BMX to filming their first Instagram clip. Like if those guys can just pull together like 4 or 5 writers, say, hey, we're gonna make a video part, like that, with nothing else other than just getting the guys out there and having something like a North Star to work towards.
Yep.
That to me is just everything I was thinking about when I was younger and getting into writing. And even I remember the first time Alex said, he was like, you're gonna get a full length video part. Like as a kid, what more do you want? Like to get a full video part, and it's something I show everyone to this day, even though it's maybe a bit embarrassing. I use Mac Miller's Knock Knock song, which I think someone that come up with gave me a hard time for that. But like it's a bit cringy, but it's something you'll have forever. It's in BMX, we don't necessarily get many medals or big accomplishments, but if you can say this is a video part, this is like the best writing I've done in like a year or 2 years, it's cool.
Yeah, it is forever for sure.
Yeah.
I love that Instagram slam that you guys did, because we talked about the come up in earlier, I firmly believe that the come up in its peak was doing so much more for BMX as a culture in terms of like creating real value in that brand itself in the come up, but also just the group of riders and how much they put out there. And they were doing those Instagram slams with people all over the country. But then they had the videos with the, you know, the crew that was the, I don't know the word I want to use, but it's like the same guys over and over. And it just built this personal connection with the people who were watching that you can't get through just riding. But that Instagram slam you put out brings back that same vibe of just like, all right, I'm getting to hear Garrett talk, and the first clip is Dan Kruk doing some crazy thing where he's like, oh my God, we're starting this insane. And that's just so cool. And so if you have all of those elements together and you keep doing those kinds of things, you're essentially building a culture by doing that.
Yeah, I think that was the point of the Instagram slam, is honestly because no one else is doing it, and I like watching them back in the day. Like it was just a necessity. I can't believe no one else was doing it. So yeah, I mean, I think the first one was maybe a bit rusty. I think we're doing it like it was like half jam, half Instagram slam. Like
yeah,
some of the riders were like other end of the skate park trying something completely unrelated to the like of what we were trying to do. So we wanted to do another one, maybe tighten up a little bit, maybe not have it part of a jam. But I think for the first one, it was pretty good. Like, yeah, Dan trying that hard 180 whip.
Yeah,
I think he just got back from Art Basel and he'd not ridden in like 2 weeks. So seeing that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the stuff I think we really do need to have more of, just to connect with people in terms of the real like product industry side of things. And the more you do that, the more those connections form, and people are like, oh, I want the Garrett pants now, or I want the Dan pants. He's wearing them. I'm seeing him use them, and just stoked on this thing as a whole.
Yeah, I think we just need more of that. I mean, Game of Bikes have been really good, but I think everyone's kind of jumped on that back in the last year. I think everyone seems to be doing Game of Bikes. So it was actually Garrett, full credit to him. I was like, let's do a jam and we'll just have kind of a couple games of bikes. And he was like, no, let's do the Instagram slam. And it was his idea completely. So
that's
big
awesome.
up him to bring that back.
That's super awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of just doing everything, you know?
Trying to, yeah. Throwing shit at a wall and see what sticks.
Well, luckily in BMX, we can be a part of all these different things and everybody can be stoked about it. So I feel like more will stick than won't.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. So what's been kind of the biggest challenge in starting this up as someone who knew nothing about making clothing to getting to the shoes you stand in today?
Oh, good question. I think it's probably just getting the first users. So I say first user, I'm still thinking about a tech platform. Getting the first customers. That's probably the hardest thing, because like, yeah, I think there's some sort of graph I've seen where like 2.5% of the population are like early adopters. And then it kind of ramps up to like I think it's like a bell curve.
Yeah.
And it ramps up, but like those early adopters, like I don't even know if I'm one of them. Like I remember like using Spotify back in the day and being like, oh, this is rubbish. Like I'm not using this. And then, you know, like there's been instances where I'm like, I made Snapchat and I was like, oh, my username's really weird, because I was like, I'm never using this thing.
Yeah.
To which my fiance's mom and dad added me, and I was like, oh my God, I can't have that username. Yeah, you can't change a Snapchat username. So it's probably just getting the first early adopters on and giving them huge respect for taking the chance of, you know, what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. So that is probably the biggest challenge, and I'm hoping that we'll just continue to kind of work with those early adopters, have them speak to their friends, tell them how good the products we're putting out are doing. So yeah, I think that's probably the hardest challenge with anything. Actually, I'm sorry, that wasn't so specific to Monticule, but
it applies.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, that's it.
And you kind of talked a little bit about the challenge of the original sample being bright and all of that. Is there anything crazy like that came up through that you're like, holy crap, and you had to work through that?
Not really. I know our buttons weren't great from our first product, and like that just feels shit. Like, having a product that people is not working.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone has had that problem, send us a DM and let us know. And we have had a few returns from that, but I still think we should have more. So if you've had a problem with the previous pants, let us know. And that's like the kind of biggest kick in the teeth is if you're putting something out there and it's not working and it's kind of pissing people off. But thankfully tried to rectify that. And it's funny how like obsessive you can get with things you never thought you'd be obsessed with, like buttons. Like I'd be like, and then you're stoked on like a custom button and you're trying to tell people, hey, we've got custom buttons. It's got Monticule in there. It's strong as anything. But then that becomes from the feedback and people saying, hey, your buttons suck. Like, what can you do? And I'm like, right, okay, we're doubling down on that. We're making sure we have like the best buttons. So yeah, I think that's probably the kind of hardest thing we've had to come in like contact with. Thankfully, no negative feedback. We'll wait until his podcast comes out. That guy's a dick or whatever. So thankfully, no negative feedback. Not yet. So we'll take that as it comes.
Yeah. Well, what about on the flip side? Like things that you never imagined that you'd learn that you feel like are going to help you forever now?
Yeah, probably like working with all the guys. Like, yeah, I've been riding for 17 years. At that time, the Garretts and the Alexes, they were kind of probably not even the start of their careers. I mean, they were at the top of their careers. Some of them, and to be working with them is like a dream come true. Like,
how old is Max?
Oh, to be fair, Max is younger. Is he 26, maybe 25, 26?
So he was like 10 when you started riding.
So he was the younger one. Yeah, so he was a younger one. But like the older guys, like to be working with them is insane. Like don't work with your heroes. Work with your heroes if they're cool people. Like they're like it's definitely like the way to go. So yeah, that's something I never thought would happen for sure.
And is there anything, I mean, you're definitely learning skills that you're going to be able to carry over into other things. Is there any kind of like advice that you'd give to someone who's starting a company that you think could just help in anything you're doing?
As like a general rule of thumb, I'd just like ask for help. I mean,
that's good.
Like LinkedIn is something that I don't think is like widely adopted, and that's probably back to my kind of music platform days. Is you got to connect with music people and business people, but like LinkedIn's a freaking powerful tool. Like for example, that Monster event is happening down in San Diego. I found the company that runs it. It's called Feld. I reached out to the sponsorship guy, connected with him yesterday, and sent him a message this morning. Like I don't know what's going to come of that, but like if you can do that 100 times, like someone's going to get back, and someone will be like, hey, like I'll help you, or hey, you speak to this person. So maybe just being a bit like not annoying, but just reaching out to people. Like as I said, I think Jeremy Malott or Max Miller, we got on from DMing him. Like it's the power of the internet can be pretty powerful if you use it right.
Yeah, it absolutely can. There's endless resources out there, and it never has to be just a brick wall that you run into and all right, I guess I'm done because I can't figure this out.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, definitely don't hit a brick wall. Like those brick walls are pretty hard when you're working by yourself and trying to think of a solution or problem. Don't hit a brick wall. Like try and think of like strategizing, working around it. Like take like me getting on Garrett or working with Garrett, for example. This is actually a kind of long-winded story, but this will show you just like connecting with people, asking for help.
I'm here for it.
The end is Garrett with the signature pair of jeans. The start was me speaking to Risto at Simple Session saying, hey, can Monticule sponsor Simple Session? To which it was too expensive for us. So I was like, how about I help you get sponsors? And on the back of that, I'll bring in money, but like Monticule will be part of it as well. I was like, I kind of like, I helped you, you helped me. I then reached out to all these outside BMX brands, one of which was OnlyFans. and OnlyFans said, we don't want to sponsor, and this is, I think, via LinkedIn, as I just said, they were like, I don't want to sponsor an event, but we'll sponsor writers. To which case I was like, okay, cool. I've got Alex under my belt. Is that the way of saying it? Under the belt? I've got Alex.
In the toolbox.
I got Alex in the toolbox. Yeah, Jesus. I got Alex in the toolbox. Like I think I can get him on, which I did. And then from there, kind of proved I was like, holy shit, I can do this. So I got Jeremy on, Jacob, team, Garrett, and working with a few others now, which, you know, hopefully they'll be announced this year. And then through the Garrett deal, we're able to have that conversation. And then from there, he created signature jeans. So it's not me reaching out to Garrett saying, hey, like, and I actually did. I think I did, like, before I even launched Monticule, I was like, hey, doing this thing with Alex Donnachie. He wasn't interested. Fair enough. He's got a lot on his plate. But from speaking to Simple Sessions to then OnlyFans to then Garrett, we were able to make the jeans happen. So I think it's just keeping on reaching out to people, looking for those opportunities. And then, you know, if you do it enough times, I think something will crack.
Finding all of the dots and then connecting them.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
And if I heard you correctly, you're responsible for all of the BMX riders who are on OnlyFans?
All except Devin Smiley. He was the first.
Wow. So that happened, and you ended up reaching out to them to sponsor Simple Session, which then led to Garrett and all the other ones.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is crazy, and no one would ever know that unless they knew you, or I guess now after hearing this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. There's so many people who probably hate you now.
Probably, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for the hate.
But it's so dumb and unfounded to hate anyone for that kind of stuff at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I didn't think too much about, honestly. All I saw was like a sponsor and a writer, and I just connected the dots. Like, I think Alex, he was over here at the time, and I was like, what do you think about writing for them? And he was like, if they pay me well enough, I'm for it. So it's not like me pushing or having an agenda. It was just me kind of connecting the dots and making it happen. And I think all the writers that are on them are pretty happy. They seem like good sponsors and it's a good company to write for. They're lovely people. And yeah, it's bringing money into BMX. So to me, with the hate, like, fair enough. Like, I can kind of see it. It looks kind of weird from the outside, but it's getting your favorite writers paid. So maybe just weigh that into things.
Ensuring that some of these people who should never have to have a job ever have to get a job.
Yeah. And I don't know if I should be sharing this, but like, Garrett nicely said, he was like, you got me writing for a couple more years from this deal. So I was like that is huge. Like, that's massive. So yeah, hopefully going to keep on pushing that. Hopefully a few other guys are sniffing around the deal. I think we've got a few going to be announced.
And you're
probably in February.
You are out here clothing people, getting them paid.
Yeah.
Taking them on for contests. That is just so cool. And I feel like there's probably so many people out there who have no idea. Like, they've seen Monticule. I mean, just like me, until I reached out to you about the thing that we're not going to talk about yet because it's not out yet. But until I reached out to you about that, I didn't know who ran Monticule. That was my first question when we got on the phone. I was like, who am I actually talking to?
Yeah. I sent you my DM, like my personal DM.
Yeah, and I had...
I'm sorry.
And I had no idea, but then we talk and get to know, and I feel like there's probably a lot of people like that because you're, like, just the reality is, like, you're not someone who is, like, everybody already knew about starting a company. And I don't mean for that to, like, be offensive or anything. Or just
no, fair.
But just like someone who isn't already widely known starting a company, and then come to find out through this conversation how much of an impact you really are having behind the scenes like that. There's so many people in BMX that no one will ever know the real impact that they made.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I'm from Scotland. I think we're quite humble, and that's probably me, and probably quite shy. Like I'm don't want to be the center of attention. That even this is my first podcast. So I'm glad I'm doing with you. You made it pretty seamless and easy. So I'm not wanting to be outspoken or trying to get attention or anything. I'm just working under the radars.
Well, what kind of dickhead goes out there and is like, yeah, see Garrett on OnlyFans? Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that would just be
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Like, but
yeah.
now here's my marketing brain. All right, now where's the OnlyFans Garrett Pants collab? And I don't know. I'm just saying.
They've got quite funny merch. Like OnlyFans themselves, they've got the T-shirt with like all the fans on it, like
literal fans.
Yeah, yeah, and they say OnlyFans. So their merch isn't bad. Their merch is pretty good.
It could be worth reaching out to them and be like, hey, we make pants. One of the athletes has, a couple of the athletes have their own signature pants. And what do you think about us? Or if they wanted to sell Garrett's pants on there or something like that, that could be. And that type of thinking is just the kind of stuff that opens doors, that just like Alex making the Under Armour fabric comment, if when you think further into it, it's like, oh, this dot connect these dots, who knows?
Yeah, that's it. That's the way I would say your brain's got to be thinking, like just looking for opportunities, looking for angles, jumping into the right ones. You don't want to be jumping into like a ridiculous proposal, but it's got to make sense. And just like, I think the actual TKO happened as well because I picked up on one of the Unclick podcasts that I think Fudger and Dennis Anderson, they're like, if you had a competition in San Diego or want to start one, we'll support you. And I was like, yes, like I'm the man for the job. I'll try and make that happen. So it's just picking up on those little insights and saying like, yeah, cool, like frick it, I'm on it.
So in my experience, I've realized that this is a very like not intentional. It's a very obvious mindset shift, that you're not the same person before you flip the switch and start thinking like this. Does that resonate with you at all? Do you feel like you kind of had a moment of like, oh, I think different now?
I think I've always been quite like entrepreneurial, if that's the word to describe this. Opportunistic is maybe, that sounds a bit sleazy.
I think both of them.
Yeah, kind of. And I remember being at university and I hated it because it was so like structured, and I had a note on my phone and I'd just be looking for opportunities. That's probably, I wonder if I've got that note on my phone, but like whenever I saw something, I'd just write it down and be like, as soon as I get out of university, I'm going to start this. And I think that's what you probably want to be doing. Just have those notes in your phone and being like, I saw something the other day. It's like, you found a pain yourself. I had one the other day where I was shipping something to Taiwan, and I was like, if you go through like the official USPS, like rather than like a mail, what did I use? I used MailMonkey or something, MailChimp or something.
Yeah, MailChimp.
If you go through official like USPS, it's like $100. Like it's like people are obviously paying that, and I was like, what if like we can do like if I'm going to Taiwan as a person, I've got extra luggage space. I'll sell like space in my luggage as I'm going to Taiwan.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just funny stuff like that, but you're like, right, okay, like let's break that down. Like logistically, how's that going to work? Is that going to be like a big enough company? You just always got to find a pain and be like, can I fulfill that? Is it worth it? Like, also break down the layers of what that actually looks like. You think that's like a good idea? Could be a good idea. It's very techy. It's very logistics. It's very import export duties. There's a whole different realm of like a business behind that, which I was like, oh, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah. But so what you're saying is that you kind of feel like you've always thought that way. In my experience in life, I did not always think like that, and I've developed it over time, and I've have very like conscious mindset shift between not realizing or thinking about any of these things to just now they're everywhere, and I see it all the time, and I see how other people are, and things that other companies or things that happen are missing out on because of it, and it's everywhere. And I'm like, man, it's just wild, because to me, I just think about all of the people who also probably don't think about things that way that could be even better off. Like there's got to be riders that are pro riders that they're just that good, so they don't have to think that way. But if they did, they would be able to do so much more with what they have.
Yeah, and a lot of it is probably that, like, taking the idea and then getting it to the second step of being like, I got this idea, like, how do I make it work? And it's the steps of actually taking something into fruition is, there's a reason to say no at every point of the way. So like, let's take like a pro athlete making his YouTube channel, which everyone should be doing, because it's just the way of like getting yourself out there, getting your brand out there. I was speaking to a skateboarder the other day who rides for Santa Cruz. I don't think that's giving it away, but they're renewing his contract, and they're like, your YouTube channel is like the kind of main reason we're re-signing you, because like you're out there every week putting out there. It's not rocket science. You've just got to do it. But I'm sure there's pain points along the way where a rider will be like, I don't want to do it because someone else is doing it, or I don't want to do it because
it looks dumb.
Yeah, it looks dumb, or like I'm too busy. So I don't know. Not to actually, that would sound like I'm shitting on people. It's not. It's just an example of something that people could be doing that don't. And it's just making sure that they can like overcome the reasons of why not to do it.
Absolutely. And I preach about this stuff all the time. And I think that a lot of what holds some people back with it is this feeling that if you do it, it has to be a certain thing. But the reality of that world is it is whatever you make it, and you find your own way of doing things. Like Dennis is the perfect example. He went from not having a YouTube channel at all to having one of the most watched BMX YouTube channels that are out there just about instantly, because he was able to have the resources to take it, to not have like the growing pains of starting with just, you know, making super crappy videos with a point and shoot camera. He's able to just start in making some legit stuff out the gate. And it took him to that level. And it's like anybody can find their place in that world.
Yeah, I think so. Like Tyler Fernangle, he's doing an amazing job, and he's a guy who got a sponsor. I don't know exactly, but probably because he's doing something different through the YouTube. Like it's he's doing a bloody good job. And yeah, I mean, people are losing sponsors in this day and age. He's gaining sponsors, I think, because he's doing something different. He's taking initiative.
Absolutely, man. And that's the key, is the initiative and just making it happen.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to do what I can do. And I don't know. I think everyone's probably doing what they can do, but I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult.
Headline: Kerr doesn't know. That's funny.
0 views. Yeah, maybe don't do that.
No, I'm kidding. There is a Monticule YouTube page, right? That's where.
Yeah, we've got a little bit going on over there. Not a lot, but.
Well, if you want, we could do the collab with this on there, just so it could hopefully push some people to do it. But something I was thinking about while you were talking there, and this is totally back to a different ball field than we were in earlier, the TKO thing, because you're starting to talk to other types of athletes like skateboarding, mountain biking. Have you thought about making it like a multi-sport kind of an event where you could bring all kinds of different things together under your one brand because you cater to the different aspects?
Yeah, but unfortunately we're not there just yet.
Yeah.
Skateboarding would be my first one to go to, but then you're looking at the sponsors and you're saying to the sponsors, like, if you give us a bit more money, skateboarders want a lot of money for their prize purse. Like,
okay,
probably like 4 or 5 times more than BMX. And yeah, like I'm trying to push that. I spoke to the head guy at Nike Skateboarding. I spoke to, this was about getting skateboarding involved in TKO. Who else did I speak to? I spoke to, I guess like the Monsters and all the current sponsors and the Red Bulls. but it's just too much money.
Yeah.
A lot of money to be asking. I think Nike's probably got it, but until they have a bit more of a proof of concept, and I plan to do that through BMXing, like that's when we'll try and incorporate skateboarding and mountain biking and honestly scootering. I'd love to see those guys have more of a spotlight. I think we're at the time now where they're here to stay. Like I think they've kind of earned their stripes with guys nailing themselves down the Leon stair set. Like
God.
those guys are like they're in it. Like it's not just kids at the skate park anymore annoying us. It's like, no, you guys have some balls. So we'd love to kind of do some more stuff with scootering, I think. I never thought I'd say that, but I think they've earned their stripes. Like there's some great guys out there. Some of the street stuff they do, they got good style. Like it's cool. So I think they need a platform, and that's something that X Games might want to look into doing as well. Like that's where a big audience is. Like went up to Woodward at the back end of that summer there, and I'd say things like 30-40% are scooter kids. Like I don't know,
dude. If you didn't cancel yourself by getting people on OnlyFans, everything you just said. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. But you're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm one of those people that's like, you can't hate on somebody for the vehicle they choose to have fun on. But
yeah,
you're 100% right. And my thing in response to all what you were saying about skateboarding and all of that, and like having to wait until prize person stuff, I think there's ways to incorporate without having to make it, you know, a huge thing out the gate, where like it could be just for the first time, you know, if you do TKO again, full out with BMX, maybe dabble and have just like a best trick thing for a skateboard in one specific thing. And man, the potential for all of that, like you could have the Monticule TKO festival, where it's a whole weekend event and each day is for a different discipline, or however you want to organize that. And it's unlimited, the possibilities for it.
Yeah, I mean, take my music background. I know about festivals. I could get a band in there. No, I could get Monticule. I could get the Monticule
there you
band.
go. Monticule headlines the Monticule TKO.
But yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, actually, sometimes I think that's where our brain goes to when we have new ideas, new concepts. It's like, let's just go to the moon, and then you shoot for the you shoot for the stars, and you might get the moon. But like, you know, some people maybe might not accept that. So yeah, I see this thing growing big time, and there's me thinking, oh, I need Nike skateboarding to get Nike or to get skateboarding involved. No, I could just do like an amateur skateboard league for the TKO, and I'm sure there's people in Lake Havasu that would travel there in terms of skateboarding. I spoke to Nigel Houston's manager. I had a call with him trying to get Nigel Houston involved in TKO, and of course they're like, we need like a pretty big prize purse. Yeah, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll be back.
Dude, you're there. You're already there. You have it all. It's just making it all happen, because you're talking to all the right people and you're shooting for the stars. Eventually you're going to get to them. And
yeah,
man, I'm so excited for all of that. This kind of stuff is what makes me stoked. And I love these kinds of conversations, because people who see like the big picture of things, you don't think, oh, I did this TKO thing and it could have skateboarding in it, and it's just, oh, I'm not going to do that, it's too much, or no one will come, or whatever it is. Like, you're out here talking to Nigel Houston's manager and the Nike skateboarding like marketing person that you mentioned, about trying to make it like legit as it gets.
Yeah. Again, I mean, those things are just me probably connecting with someone on LinkedIn or having a contact somewhere and being like, I can actually tell you the Nike one was my family friend from back in Scotland, works with a lot of tennis players that are sponsored by Nike. So I reached out to him, got the Nike skateboarding email, and then the Niger connection. Probably LinkedIn, honestly. I probably freaking LinkedIn, and actually I called a guy was British, made a connection there, and Andy Anderson bumped into him, got his manager's number. So like the pieces are there, but we're I think it's just, you just always got to be on the lookout. Just always on the lookout.
Absolutely, man. I'm so excited for everything you have going on and the future of building all of it. It's just, I love how you can see that bigger picture and are just going for it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, you had a great start with Monticule already in that you just went straight to the best people in all of BMX.
Yeah, yeah, that helps.
Then you do the same thing with skateboarding and mountain biking and scooters, and then you get them all in one place in one time. Imagine the collaborative Instagram slam of having like one of each or something, and just all of the different ways that you could intertwine these things. And now, instead of, because all of the same people more than likely who are fans of Dan Kruk are also fans of Garrett Reynolds, who are also fans of Jeremy Malott. But now you loop in one of the best skateboarders in the world. Now you've got a totally different set of eyeballs. And then you go scootering and mountain biking, and now you're going to get normal people who might know this and start paying attention. And that's where you get access to so many different people rather than we keep making Instagram slams. There's kind of like a ceiling because the people who are going to watch Instagram slam are the people who are going to watch it. But you expand to other things, and now you have a new pool of eyeballs to get to.
Yeah, I think that's probably our thing. I mean, it's funny, I was joking with someone and I was like, what company has ever started in BMX and expanded out? And actually, I can't think of many. I know that like companies have come in, a lot of companies have come in.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that is. I mean, actually, this is probably a great question to ask you. I mean, was Little Devil, did that start in
Yeah, it's BMX because it's Derek Adams.
And I'm pretty sure I bought some of their stuff in a skate shop in Scotland. That must have been ages ago. So maybe that the answer's on your head.
Well, there's also a more recent example, Shadow Riding Gear. They through their knee pads, they got some certification for like motorcycles or something, which would allow them to be sold for that. And then they started to
I'm sorry, I'm on 1%. I'm on 1% battery.
Oh god, we're about to lose him. He's getting the charger. If he goes away, he'll be back. But what do you guys think of this conversation so far? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Conversation. Anyways, so Shadow Riding Gear has done mountain bike stuff. I think they did a helmet, mountain bike helmet. Then you got Odyssey, which has started to make cranks, and they made that Optus thing, which is like a tube that's not a tube that goes in mountain bike rims. But I'm trying to think of something that would have gone even further outside. You know, like in the skateboarding world, you had Fallen, or you had Famous. I feel like Famous was not just skateboarding. I mean, that got sold in the mall.
Yeah.
BMX. I don't know, because it's not cool to go mainstream in BMX. If you do that, you're selling out in BMX.
Yeah, kind of same with every sport. I mean, skateboarding, it's got to be core. Like they use the term core a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue I'm facing going into trying to get into skate shops and whatever. They're like, is it core? And I'm like, no, probably not.
It's me. You're one dude though. It's not like you're some Lululemon's like, I'm gonna start making action sports pants.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, they're actually not as mean as that. They're like, is it core? Have you got a skate team? And I'm like, no. I guess I kind of yes and would, but I've not got a skate team. So I think as we get a skate team, which we're working with 2 guys right now, who are great guys, signature products and whatever. Yeah, I think that'll kind of give us the credibility to say to like the skateboard market, like, look, we're in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually, you know, as of like a couple of days ago, speaking to a pretty big mountain biker.
Awesome.
And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I think that's the kind of model. You work with the athletes, you kind of get the credibility, and you kind of take it from there. But I don't think you can get into the space without working with the athletes. I don't think.
No, I mean, I don't know how you would unless you're making like a part product or something that could just be undeniable.
You say like a part product.
Part. Like
Oh, part. Oh, part.
you
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the
yeah.
best frame that's ever existed, but you don't have a team. People are probably gonna buy it if it's the best one that's ever existed, you know?
True. Yeah, quality does speak highly. Yeah, that's true.
Either way, the potential I feel is just so limitless for the stuff that you've got going on. And I think you have the kind of a brain, not to sit here and just shower you with praise.
Shower me.
Oh, wait, we got
Oh,
to.
that's
I'm not on OnlyFans yet. We can't.
okay. I could fix that.
Actually, I had messages and emails from 2020 from someone at OnlyFans, and I never like made it happen because I thought it was weird.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then whenever all of everyone got announced, I went back and I was like, oh, maybe I can. I don't think I ever replied, but I was like, yo, I would totally make that happen now if I could.
Well, that's a lot of people's reactions. Is like they're like, oh yeah, we got hit up like a while ago, and like never really thought much of it. And I think Devin was the first guy to like jump on. So fair enough to him. He kind of like started it.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think people were kind of like, right, okay, if Devin got away with it, like we'll kind of get involved. So
yeah, I remembered why I didn't is because the person who was talking to me about it was talking about like behind the scenes type content and stuff that not just anybody could go on YouTube and get for free. And at the time, my mindset was like, well, I already give everything away for free on YouTube. So what would I have left to put on there if I'm trying? Like, I'm not trying to put anything behind a wall in terms of knowledge or anything like that. So I kind of just couldn't see myself figuring out a way to make it make sense. But now, I don't know, I would figure it out. It'd be dumb to not.
yeah, and that was my thing with my music platform. I ended up kind of having a paywall and subscription, and that's why I probably kind of tapped into understanding OnlyFans and the model from maybe like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard. I don't know how they do it other than the kind of explicit content that they are known for, because maybe there is actually I should reword this, because BMX videos pay-per-view, they work. We actually did the Trey Jones video, the No Fun, was hosted on my music platform.
Oh,
which is pretty sick. That was probably my first bit of hate. People did not like that. People didn't like the fact that it was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, you can't take something that people normally get for free and then tell them they have to pay for it. But you tell them, but if they go and they buy their new iPhone, guess what? They're going to pay full price, and they're going to
yeah.
They're going to have the best phone, and they're going to have the best computer.
And I was watching something of it today, actually, that was like, and they won't ask for a deal. I mean, like, with everyone in the space. Where was I watching this? I think it was actually Nate Rich.
Yeah, with Nate Richter and Foo.
And they were talking about the kind of the discount codes, and everyone's looking for a deal, like, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, the irony of going into Apple shop and being like, hey, where's my code for this?
Right.
I've got like 10,000 Instagram followers. Where's my discount code? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, I think they're right that we definitely need to try and get out of that mindset, but also I don't think that it should go completely away, because it absolutely, for like the rider side of things, the affiliate stuff absolutely makes sense.
Yeah,
because it's a way to help the riders. But if it's only a way for people to just not pay as much money and they pick where they're going to buy it from based on where they can get it the cheapest, well then yeah, maybe that's less okay.
Yeah, I heard something the other day that I think you just don't discount your main product. And I think that's something that I think is like quite a kind of simple solution. So for example, if there's like a BMX jam and people are like, oh, can you send product? Don't send their jeans. Maybe send their hats and their t-shirts, but like don't sell what we're known for. So I think I actually picked that up from, I think, Fudger's podcast. I think apparently there's one time at the Interbike where they got all the kind of industry people in the room, and I think that was like one of the things that came out of that conversation was, don't give out the products that sell. Like, that's just like shooting yourself in the foot. So maybe discount the kind of, like, we're not known for a hat, so I give hats, I give t-shirts, but I've started giving pants. I'm like, that's our kind of bread and butter. So
yeah,
maybe just having even the t-shirts we made, or kind of keep them up our sleeve for promo rather than actually expecting sales.
Yeah, and if you ever were to do some kind of pants, make it so that the only person that can get that is like the winner. So that you have to really, I mean, that's what I did with the jam that I held in October. I was very intentional about the prizes, and I made sure that all of it was like big stuff, and the only people who got this big stuff were the people who won each best trick jam, so that it was something they would be stoked on, but also there was prestige to it. Like, I won, I gave away brakes. I won this $125 set of brakes, rather than just, oh, I got some tires and grips that I'm probably not going to ride, which is amazing, but that's what you reserve for just the throw out to anybody kind of thing.
Yeah. It was so funny, that podcast, the Nate podcast, where they're talking about the promo codes and how bad they are. At the end, Nate's like, and here's a 30% off code. There's 10 codes for 30% off. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I was watching that and I was like, I bet you there's more than 10. I bet you it's unlimited.
Yeah, I know.
You just say it's 10 so that people will get over there and do it quickly, but I don't know. It's just me talking shit. But it's smart.
I bumped into him down in Venice Beach. He was doing his caffeine. Honestly, it sounds bad. I feel like I've got my finger in the pulse with most of the BMX riders. I didn't recognize him.
Well,
I was kind of like, oh, I'm working with like a few guys. I got my, and yeah, he's an OG. And he's also he seems like a business mindset. He's doing his drinks thing, which he gave me a sample. It's really good. So yeah, big up him for kind of diversifying.
Yeah, he's definitely got the business mindset, and he's done so much. I think it's understandable that you might not recognize him, because he did kind of like go away from the BMX side of things as heavily for a while, so he wasn't like as right there as he used to be. So it's understandable. But yeah, that discount code thing in that podcast, I was like, oh, you genius. Say there's only 10, but there's actually in limited amount, and everybody was go over there racing to be like, oh, did I make it? That's so smart.
I could give out a discount code.
There we go.
we got 10% off. If anyone makes it this far in the podcast, I think it's NY10 for 10% off.
Well, that will be your way to know if people watch this and want to support through it. So you said NY10?
Yeah, just like New Year's 10, NY10.
Yeah, so if there's a pickup in the short time after this podcast, maybe that means it worked.
Fantastic. I'd like that.
Yeah. So the last thing I have written down here is, I think, something I'm going to be really psyched to hear your answer on. But it seems like every other pants company in action sports has ended up throwing in the towel. Like, every single one. What's going to make Monticule different?
Ooh. I guess I don't know the answer, but the things I'm going to try are getting into different sports. I think relying on just BMX is like, we've got a great community, we've got a great industry, but it's just not big enough. I don't think, unfortunately. As much as I'd like to keep it just BMX, if like every rider wore Monticule, I think we'd probably survive, but unrealistic.
Yes.
So I think diversifying, getting into skateboarding, as much as I don't know about the space, I still think from the athletes I'm speaking to, there's a necessity. They like the product we're currently putting out. So that'll be pretty cool. And honestly, you go into like a skate shop, and 70% of the product's apparel. Like, I feel like BMX, I'm kind of swimming upstream here by speaking to distros, by speaking to retailers, and they're like, apparel doesn't sell in our shop. And then immediately, I mean, that's me, the risk of diving into a new venture is like, you just don't know all the answers. And that's an answer I was like, oh shit, yeah, that makes complete sense. So we're doing a bit of just a kind of extension of what I initially thought it was going to be, and that's going to go to skateboarding. I think mountain biking is going to be a good one, and in doing so, you kind of touched on it earlier. Like, it's just going to build the brand and have so many more cross points to hopefully where we do become a household name. And that's the ultimate goal, is to have people that wear Vans that kind of like the image and style of skateboarding and BMXing and extreme sports, to be like, oh, these are the jeans I want to wear, because they do reflect skateboarding, BMXing, extreme sports. So it kind of becomes a complementary side by side good with a kind of a Vans user, which is a kind of like a household name. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Whether it works out or not, stay tuned.
Yeah.
But I think that's my avenue right now, and obviously doing the extreme sports competition, the TKO. I think that's going to give us a pretty good chance just from a marketing point of view. But yeah, I think that's probably my answers. Try and make it more of like a lifestyle brand and kind of all-round, all-encompassing. Yes, we originated in BMX, and I thank everyone in the space for helping us do that, but it's just too small.
Yeah.
And when I'm a BMX rider, I'm going to go into skateboarding and people will be like, that guy's a freaking BMX rider. What's he doing here? I'll always be a BMX rider. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But hopefully there's enough of a crossover where people will appreciate, oh, he's still trying to do a good thing and he's making a product that people want. So
yeah,
that's I think what I'll hopefully boil down to. Sorry, I think the puppies want to make another appearance.
Oh,
you're wanting another appearance.
let's
You want him
go.
told off. I don't know if he wants told off or another appearance. Hey, come here. So we only got him like 2 weeks ago.
Finn.
Yeah, and he was part of a hoarding situation. Apparently his girl had like 50 dogs.
Whoa, you saved
And she
him.
called up and she was like, I just need help. So he was one of the dogs that got out.
You saved him.
I guess so. You saying what's happening?
Well, if that's not going to be the thumbnail, I don't know what could be.
Yeah, he's a cutie. And I've got another dog somewhere, but
I saw him walking in the background earlier.
Yeah, he's a little camera shy. That's Goob. He's my boy.
Goob. So you mentioned something about talking to shops and stuff, saying BMX apparel doesn't sell. I have a theory with that.
Yeah.
I think BMX apparel doesn't sell anymore because it's cool for everybody to wear these vintage shirts and clothes that they buy. And BMX companies and apparel companies haven't followed that avenue in designing clothes that look like the stuff that people are deciding to buy from thrift stores and things. Like, for example, Malice seems to be doing awesome. And they're doing like Marlboro logo ripoffs and stuff that's like, people love those old Marlboro shirts and things like that. And I just have felt for quite a while now, it's like, well, if you see what people like, if you are a company and you have a pro rider and they're choosing to wear some other clothes over the clothes that you give them with your logos, well, then I would look at what they're deciding to wear and be like, okay, I'm going to make something that looks like that.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong. Like, the retro stuff's definitely in right now. Especially look at like those Jenko jeans. I mean, who's it? Ripe Life. See the size of his jeans are freaking massive.
I don't get how you could ride like that, but it's crazy.
Yeah, so like, I mean, but then I'm kind of waiting to see if the younger generation pick up on that, because I think he's definitely in his own lane of like fashion.
Mm-hmm.
We thought Devin Smile had baggy jeans. Like, this is freaking next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I as someone in the space, seeing the younger generation and what they're wearing, like, I just don't know if I want to dive into that. It's like quite a risk, because like, as BMXers, we all have our own style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why we're kind of accommodating the baggy stuff and the kind of straighter leg stuff. The cargo pants are kind of like a mid. It's difficult. Like, everyone's got their own image and their own look and their own style. So yeah, I think we could definitely learn from what the kids are wearing. But I don't know. Some of them are pretty wild.
Well, it's way, way harder when you start talking about pants. But if you're talking about making shirts are something you can do a run of 25 of just to see if it works and then do more. But like with what you're doing with pants, it'd be so much harder to invest 6 months of time and all of these however many hundreds or thousands of dollars to get a run of pants that you're just gambling and not sure if is going to work versus the alternative.
Yeah, so yeah, we're maybe keeping it a bit more safe, but I don't know. I mean, in terms of like kind of other BMX brands and how they're not kept up to date with like the apparel and what the kids want, I except for Malice, maybe Doomed. Like I don't know what other kind of companies there are out there that would be kind of challenging a non-BMX apparel company.
There's not really. I mean, Little Devil is killing it, but Little Devil is just such a nostalgic household name brand within BMX that they have that mind share already. Same with like anytime S&M makes clothes, they're selling because they have the mind share. They already established that with people, and people just want their stuff. The thing is that like you used to see, and when I started growing up riding, I don't know how it was for you, but I would get the Dan's Comp catalog and I would go in there and just circle all the shirts that I wanted because I thought they were sick, and I only would wear BMX clothes, and it seems like that's faded. And it was just, you used to see everyone wearing the clothes that BMX companies would put out, and that's just been my only answer to what could possibly be the cause for that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you look back at like the kind of early 2000 videos, like everyone does seem to be wearing like some sort of branded shirt. Maybe that's because they're sponsored by them and they're kind of forced to wear maybe the bigger logo. Even look at the Rickson sweatshirt. Like they've gone kind of the other way where it's very, very subtle because they know like the riders doesn't necessarily want something blasted the whole time like a walking ad. So it's maybe making that fine line between like showcasing the brand but also making it kind of wearable. Like my hoodie for right now is it's kind of subtle. It's not like too big, and I think a lot of riders probably want something maybe a bit more subtle.
Yeah.
Whereas like brands like, I need to be careful not naming any names, but it's always kind of big and like real like center stage. And I think even Dan Kruk said that. He was like, I love the fact that Rickson one's subtle because it makes it so much easier to kind of style with other things and blend in. But then for Rickson, they're sacrificing eyeballs.
Yeah, it's just tough. It's a line that has to be walked. And yeah, I don't know. That was just kind of my thought process on it. Is like, well, if people are deciding to wear other stuff, well, then just make stuff that looks like what they're deciding to wear, and then maybe they'll want to wear it instead.
No, you're spot on. You're spot on, and then that's money kept in the industry rather than going somewhere else.
I think that's a big thing that I think people are cluing into that more and more and understanding those concepts. Like, well, if something exists within BMX that is good and you buy it from non-BMX, well, then that's money that would have been within the industry that's now not there, or even some other aspects with things within BMX that I don't want to get into. But when you spend your money outside of it instead of in when you could, I think people are understanding more and more with time what that means.
Hopefully. Yeah, and then we got to make sure that we're spending that money accordingly, like by putting out good content and picking up cool guys and putting on jams. And yeah, I think we could certainly see more of that. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of piggybacking on the back of Nate's podcast just because I've watched that and everything I'm thinking about is coming back to that. But yeah, he's saying like, jams are almost kind of dead in the sense that people just come looking for discounts. But if you can get like a really well organized jam where it pulls out, I mean, look at the cash up jams, like they're doing so well. And then the last LA jam was for that guy's birthday. I'm really bad with names, but yeah, like people show up, and I don't know if those guys are necessarily looking for discount. Maybe if a shop puts it on, different scenario because the shop's behind it and people tend to know the product there. But yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, just making sure the money that comes in the industry also stays in the industry, because yeah, like the brand owners have a representation or an obligation.
Yeah,
to make it work.
I think it's a shared responsibility with everyone, is kind of what you're getting at in that. If people realize when they spend money within BMX that it goes to BMX, and then the companies and everyone also at the same time have to realize what they do with that money reflects on things too. And it's just, that's how the ecosystem can keep working. And if we can at the exact same time continue to figure out how to bring new people into that ecosystem who weren't already there, well, then now you can grow it and keep adding to it rather than taking away, which is what it feels like has happened over the past few years.
Yeah. I think it's called something. It's like some sort of cycle. I think Jeff Bezos describes it as like I think he had like books, and the more people that buy books is like the more product he can get in, and the more product he get in, the more he can diversify. There's something there if you Google like the Jeff Bezos spinning cycles.
Let's find out. Jeff Bezos cycle.
Nah, it's like a
virtuous cycle. That
sounds about right. Is there some sort of?
Let's see. I got a picture here.
Make sure I'm not talking absolute rubbish.
No, I think you got something here. It's so the picture shows. I wonder if I could show you this. It's pretty simple to explain though. It's got a circle in the center that says growth, and then and that's a circle. Then there's arrowed circles around that, and they kind of all feed into each other. So there's the inner circle of growth, and the outer circle at the top is selection, then customer experience, then traffic, then sellers, and then there's a lower cost structure and lower prices thing that goes along with that too. It's interesting.
If Geoff's saying it, then I think we should get behind it.
Well, strike 3, you are officially canceled.
That's fair.
I'm just kidding. But everything you're saying makes total sense, is valid. And either way, man, I am so pumped to learn more about like your mindset with things, where you're at business wise, culture wise, community wise, and just trying to level all of it up and help everybody and everything, even outside of BMX, by moving to other niches within action sports. And it's going to be fun to watch.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I don't know what's going to happen either. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to unravel. Let's
go. So where can people buy Monticule stuff and keep up on what you guys are up to?
Yeah, so on the website, monticule.co, we have an Australian distributor, Kickass. I think they're in Lux, but they actually didn't tell me where the product went. So somewhere in Australia, local bike shops, I hope. Taiwan, big up Stash Taiwan. So hopefully your local bike shops in Taiwan. And then that's pretty much it. Mesroll, put in a small order. It's over in New York. And right now that's who we're working with. That's kind of like distributors and everything. So yeah, check everyone out there, and code NY10.
Oh, I forgot about that. What's the Instagram again?
Is at monticule.co.
Let's just rip that up real quick, just so that.
And we're going to start a video competition every month with our BMX. So you're going to submit your video. We're going to like narrow down to the top 3, and the top 3 will get played in like the monthly Unclick podcast, and then they're going to decide on air the top one for $100 voucher. So I think just keep updated in the Instagram, and you'll find out where to like post your video. But that's quite a cool initiative, just to kind of build community, and a kid around the world can feature an Unclick podcast and hopefully have the Chad Curleys, the Dennises be like, oh shit, yeah, that was a sick clip, like they'll win. So something just kind of give the kids a spotlight.
Cool. That's a cool initiative. Loved seeing things like that. Yeah. So with all that being said, I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. And
no, likewise.
Hopefully you see some uses on that code.
Yeah, that'd be sick. No, thanks for having me, mate. It's good what you're up to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep in touch, and thanks for watching, everybody.
Cheers.